Greetings, Battlefield Banter viewers. I welcome you to a great weekend edition, and you're in for a special treat.
Anthony?
What? I'm I'm joined today by my son Joe, who's based in Brooklyn and starting his gaming career there. In fact, on a recent trip, we went to the Complete Strategist, that for many years was the only war game store on the Eastern Seaboard, right there in Manhattan. Say hello to the viewers, Joe.
What's up, Battlefield Banter fans? I'm Joe. I've been a guest on the channel before, but excited to be back.
Yes, you have. I think we had a very rousing game of Command and Colors Napoleonics, if I recall. So we'll
Yes,
we'll
it
have
was
more
close.
to go. So today the goal is to teach people how to use Rally the Troops, which, as you can see, let me move my screen a little bit to get the view in a little bit. Has many games available. Whoops, I just changed that. Let me do that again. Has many games available, including Mark Herman's Waterloo and Washington's War, and Wilderness War. All card. Well, the last two are card-driven games. Time of Crisis is one. I've played Shores of Tripoli on there, which is a lot of fun, and there's a lot of other games. I've also played 300, which is a good one. But today we're going to learn how to play one of the ultimate card driven games. It was a Board Games Geek most popular game for many years, called Paths of Glory. So we're going to kind of try and teach you how to get logged in on Rally the Troops, and then how to select, create a game, and we'll play a couple of the first turns of the games. So um, let me go. This is the default screen that comes up that everybody can see. Um, it'll come up to games, and I'm going to create a new game. And so, Joe, on your screen, which the viewers cannot see, hopefully a box is going to come up here very shortly. I'm going to create a new game. I'm going to pick Paths of Glory. Um, no time control. I would encourage all the viewers out there, always put no time control on it, so you haven't, if your game gets delayed a little bit, you have plenty of opportunity to make your moves if you miss a day or something like that. I am going to mark the game private. I'm going to create it. So you see this comes up. So I'm going to play the Central Powers, the bad guys, if you will, the Austria-Hungary Empire and the Germans, because that is a little more active. It kind of drives the action. So for the new player, I always recommend the Allies. So I'm going to join that. You see my name appears, Max Jozak, and I'm going to invite Joe, invite a friend. What was your name again that in your account? Battlefield Banter?
It
Oh,
was
there it is.
Battlefield Banter Fan, all one word.
There we go. All right. So on your screen, Joe, you should be able to go to that games list, and there's now an invitation waiting for you. There should be.
Man, I went to the games. Oh, here we go. Games.
There
Read
it
it now.
is.
I see a join button. Accept.
Perfect.
Okay, what
So
now?
now I believe I go to the game screen, and there it is. Ever all the viewers can see it's now appeared. So now you go to games. I'm going to join. Um, and I'm going to click on start. And let's see. And I'm going to click on play. And now the map comes up. So now, viewers, you can see the map. I'm going to have to move this around so you can see everything. So here's where the teaching comes in. This is a map that it's not hexes, hex encounter game. It's I don't know, what would you call those, Joe? Um, Places, spots. I don't know. What's There's a card. There's a word.
Spots.
Spots. All right, we'll call them spots. So just to give you a little bit of a background here, Joe. So Um, you are the Allies, which are the Brits, the French, the Serbians, where the war started, and also some at some point the Italians, and certainly the Russians and some other minors. I am Germany, Austria, Hungary, and then later Turkey. And it goes from the fields of Flanders there in Belgium and France to the Eastern Front down to the Mediterranean front in Italy. So it's quite exciting, I would add. But there's a couple things. If you go to the upper left hand corner, the turn record track, the game turns, each turn is split into 6 rounds, and we'll see some examples of that here in just a moment. The very first turn, though, is only 1 month, August of 1914, and there's some restrictions there. The second turn is September, and then the third turn is a quarter. It's actually 3 months. So you kind of need to know that. Um, the game starts with the advent of World War One. If you scroll down, Joe, to the uh, lower left-hand side, you see what's called the General Records track, and the VP marker starts at 10. If um, the Germans, the Central Powers, because they're in the center of the map, if they achieve victory points equaling 20, they win the game automatically. By alternative, if the Allied powers, which is what you are, Joe, if you get the victory track down to 0, you win the game automatically. So, how do you acquire victory points, which is a major measuring stick? If you go back up to France, you'll see that some of the spots on the map, for example, Essen, Frankfurt, Stuttgart, Paris, those are in red. Those are victory spots. So if you occupy that, you get a victory spot. That's how you win the game, basically. Now, the basics of the game are driven by cards. So if you scroll down to the bottom, you will see that you now have a hand of cards. Both players start with 8. Each card, and I'm going to describe this um, using the German cards, but you'll kind of get the idea too, Joe. Your very first card there, your card is Putnik. Now I'm going to drag your screen out here so everybody can see it. Everybody can see that Joe has, a typical hand of cards. He's got Putnik out there, and you'll notice in Putnik, and you can behind that, I've changed the screen so you can see a couple of my cards. The primary one being Guns of August, but the Putnik card maintains in the upper left-hand corner a point value, 2 points. And that can be used either to move people around, it can be used for replacement points, some strategic redeployment, or you can play the event. Now, the Putnik card is what's called a combat card. We'll demonstrate what that is in a minute. If you look at the Russian reinforcements card, the event there would create more Russian troops. They would come onto the board. Now, the thing with Paths of Glory generally as a World War One strategic game is it tries to create the opportunity for the players to follow the historical pattern. So there are I guess you could call them Chrome rules. First Chrome rule to be aware of is you cannot play reinforcement events on the very first turn, right? Meaning the first 6 rounds of turn one, you cannot play reinforcement events. So the event card on the Russian reinforcements, the British reinforcements, and French reinforcements would not be playable. You'd only be able to use them for ops or possibly replacement points. Okay, so let me talk about that. There on the Russian reinforcements card, Joe, that all the viewers can see, because I'll remind you they can see your cards. You've got three operational points that you could use, and we're going to demonstrate a turn here in a minute. There along the bottom, you see where it says Britain, I think that's 2, France 1, Italy 1, Russian 2. What that
Yes.
does is give you replacement points. Now, if you go to the top of, let's see. Oh, well, you know what? We don't have any eliminated units left. Basically, replacement points allow you to buy more units. So if you look at the map,
Okay.
your blue French units, you see the unit in Paris? It's got a white stripe through it. That is a unit that's been
Mhm.
flipped. It's taken losses. Whereas the other French units don't have a white stripe, they're stronger. Those three numbers represent offensive power, defensive power, and movement. And you'll see this. The game's very easy to pick up. Okay.
Mhm.
So you want to, during your 6 rounds, you want to play replacement points as you go along if you have no other thing that you want to do, so that at the end of your turn, you can restore your units to full strength. This whole game is much like the history of World War One. It's about attrition. It's about trying to stay alive longer than your opponent. One other thing to keep in mind, you absolutely do not want to get out of supply. You don't want to get surrounded by the enemy, because when you do, your units are considered out of supply. They cannot attack and they cannot move. You can only rescue them, if you will, with other units, which becomes very difficult to see. And because this is a learning game, I'll kind of show you stuff like that. So I'm going to show everybody my cards, and I'm going to describe them to you, Joe. And let's see. Let me look at your cards again. Okay, let me bring this card up because there's another key concept I want to explain. You'll notice, Joe, the card blockade has a little subscript 2 behind it. And you'll notice British reinforcements has a subscript 1. With that number 2 for blockade and number 1 refer to one, there's an event with blockade. It's a powerful card for the Allies to play because it subtracts 1 VP during the war status phase of each winter turn, which helps you. You're trying to subtract VPs. I'm trying to add VPs to the turn record, right? But that 2, what that does is if you go back to the general records track, in the lower left-hand part of the board, you will see something called combined war status, allied status, and CP status. Those numbers along there, it starts with 0. The number 4 is limited war. You'll notice your cards, and I'll show the viewers my cards. They all are labeled mobilization cards. Do you see that? How all your cards are labeled mobilization? So
Yes. Yep.
what happens is we'll go 6 rounds. You're going to be spending one card per round, and then we'll draw more cards at the end of the round. Well, after the expiration of turn 2, if you have played enough of those cards with that subscript number, you want to get at least 4, that would put you in what's called limited war status. And there's a whole nother deck that you would get to add to your big deck, the limited war deck. And then later at point number
How
11,
do you trigger that? What
well,
which subscript I'm trying to match?
yeah. Well, what you're trying to do is you're trying to move your allied marker that's currently at 0 over to 4. So, like if you played the blockade card, you would move to point number 2 on the general records track.
Because of this small 2 at the
No,
top of the card?
you see where it says blockade
Oh, next to the title. Okay. Yeah,
next
yeah,
to the
yeah. I was
title.
looking at this real tiny one, way up
Oh
there at the
yeah,
top.
that's like in the rules of play index. All the cards have a
Yeah.
little tiny subscript number, just so that I guess
Okay.
for printing purposes. But either way, or I could
Yeah.
refer
Okay,
to
so I'm
that
looking
as
at
card
this too.
two. But yeah, I'm talking
Sure.
about in
I see.
parentheses next to the name of the card blockade. That. So
Okay.
right out of the gate, you will have the opportunity during this first 6 rounds to get to 2. But remember, it can't come in force until the finish of the second turn, which effectively 12 cards. And reinforcements cannot be played until turn two. So that one is not. And here's the best thing about Rally the Troops, it's rules enforced. So I think it accelerates your learning of the game. If some of you out there, you've seen it rated on BGG and you want to learn the game, this is a great way to learn the game, in my opinion. I've played the game before, mostly on Vassal, where you can, by error, do stuff that you're not supposed to do. The software algorithm underlying Rally the Troops does not allow you to do that. And it's led to some interesting conversations with Mark and I where I'm like, wait a minute, the software screwed up on Rally the Troops. And we would then go in the rule book and look, and no, Doug just didn't read that rule. It's how it went. So, what general questions do you have as a brand new player who's never seen this before, Joe?
Guess I just need a refresh on um like how you play the troops and how they're tracked and kind
Okay.
of what cards let them move.
That's a great question. And I think probably the way to teach the viewers and you that is we'll just start playing, right? Again, I'm not going to do my normal wolfing and bantering that I'm beating you because this is a learning game. So don't worry about
I
that.
appreciate that. Thank you. Thank
Don't
you.
be bashful. Don't worry about making a mistake. And the other thing is, this actually has a rollback feature. Like if you kind of
Mhm.
screw up and the two players agree, yeah, game's over at this point. That was a big blunder. Let's go back and keep playing the game because this game can be a little extended and long, and you're having a great time. And if somebody does a blunder, like you leave units out of supply, what Mark and I do, the blunderer will concede. You win, but let's go back before the blunder and keep going. So you can play a second game without recreating all of the very first moves, if that makes sense. So let's just jump into it. The CP goes first, and much like history, now I'm showing everybody my cards. I'm going to play the Guns of August, which has a two value, and I'll see if I can make this so you can see it, Joe. But what you do is you click on the card, you write, oh, wait a minute. Let's see. Oh, one other rule. And you're about to see this. You see at the top of your screen, Joe. Here, I'll show the viewers this. On Joe's screen, it says waiting for Central Powers to review mandated offensive rule. On my screen, it's asking me, hey, look at the no mandated offensive, meaning, let me bring this over so the viewers can see it. Um, Off to the side. Oh, here it is. Now it's on screen for the Battlefield Banter viewers. Over to the right-hand side of your screen, Joe, it tells you how many cards you have left, your opponent, and it kind of gives you a chat box that as we go through play, we'll review. So every turn starts with a roll called the mandated offensive. And you'll see this for the Allies at the bottom of the screen down in the Mediterranean Sea near the boot of Italy. You'll see there's a little table there. It says mandated offensive. It's got a shield for France at 1 to 2, Britain for 3, Italy 4 to 5, and Russia for 6. Do you see that? So, what that's doing is letting you know that this turn, France is going to have to make an offensive, a mandated offensive. Because here's one of the tricky little rules you'll have 6 rounds, and in one of those rounds, you're going to want to attack with the French. If not, I get a VP. And this is a mechanic that the game uses to try and force people to do the offenses that actually occurred in World War One. That's the reason for the mechanic. So the Rally the Troops site rolled our mandated offenses, which is the first thing that occurs in every turn. CP rolled a 6. So there's none for me. I don't have to make one, although I do. In the AP, you just got to remember France. So as I guide you through turn one, I will keep that in mind so that because there is an opportunity to make an attack. So I'm going to I gotta go to the top and click. It says turn one, no mandated offensive. So I hit next, and now it says turn one, action one, take one option. You must play the Guns of August. So to start the game, the German has to play the card, the Guns of August. So I will click on the card. It will play the event. Now, you can see that in the chat. You see, Joe, it says Guns of
Mhm.
August. If you scroll over that, you can read the card. So you see there on
Yeah.
the general records track, my CP dark blue counter went over to 2 and it dragged the combined war status over to 2. Did you see all that?
Yes. And the
All right.
combined war status does that just move when either of us move our war
Correct.
status?
It just totals you have 0, I have 2. So as you start making your way to 4 and I get to 4, it would go to 8. And there's some other
Sure.
rules down farther in the game that allow other things to happen. So the race is on between us as two sides to get to our total war deck as soon as we can, right? With that
Mhm.
limitation that limited war can't come in. Um, oh no, my Zoom, it says running out of time. This meeting will end in 10 minutes. Upgrade now.
No.
I don't want to upgrade
Do we
now.
have to do this in parts?
Hopefully not. We're just gonna play. So I wanted to use Zoom so you could share your screen and I could drag your screen out so the viewers could see the cards because then the direction and the learning that you're taking will make much more sense. So here's the key. Here's how you play this first turn in Guns of August. It's kind of a mandated start. You can see on screen that the Belgian fort Liege is. Can you see that on your screen?
Um,
Oh, well,
where?
you
Where am
see
I
it,
looking?
but it's not yellow like it is on my screen. Now you should have seen it changes. So now the
Yes.
Guns of August implement it makes it makes 2 of my stacks active and I can do an attack. Now, this this is really your big decision. When you play cards, you get certain number of operational points. Now, Guns of August gives me 2 operational points. So I can activate 2 hexes, for lack of, or 2 squares. I'm activating Liege and attacking from that, and I'm attacking in the other one that you see. They're both marked attack. In
Where are the
when you,
operational points noted on the card?
they're on the card, correct. Like if you scroll
Wh
over the
where?
Guns of August, oh, 3, that little 3 subscript 4,
Uh-huh.
that's 3
Those are the op so
operational
you get
points.
3 operational points, okay. And,
Correct.
like, activating a unit to move and then to attack, each of those instances are 1 operational point?
Well, this one's a little weird because it's the very first start of the game in the Guns of August. I'm really only getting 2 operational points, and so I have
Right.
I'm using both operational points to define an attack from 2 different stacks, if that makes
Okay.
sense. All
Special
right.
case. Yeah,
So what
sure.
I'm going to do, my standard attack is to have um, well, it's either to have both stacks attack the French army in what's called a flank attack, or for the bigger stack to attack the British and the smaller stack to attack the French to really try and blow you out. So, to make it more fun, why don't we do that? So, the first attack, I will have my smaller stack attack. And so it's a series of clicking. And then what the viewers are seeing is it from my perspective. So, I chose my unit and then I chose the space and it prompts me. It says attack Sedan with German Army number 3 at 5 strength points. Because remember, when you look at those three numbers on the unit, it's attack, defense, and movement. So it's 5 versus 3, which is, a nice attack. I have a little bit of an advantage. So I say attack, and then it's saying which of the attackers. Now, you have the opportunity to play what are called combat cards. So you're getting prompt to play the combat cards. So I've got your combat cards up on screen. And a powerful combat card, we'll bring it back up, is called Withdrawal. So if you read that card, right, defending units negate it, that is a card that you want to play on either one of the two attacks, right? I would probably encourage you to save it for the BEF attack because that's a more valuable unit. And the reason being is that the BEF is the only British unit that, as you lose pieces of it, you cannot re upgrade it. They're gone forever. So you want to use the withdrawal combat card there. So I would select none. I would not select the withdrawal combat card. Just click on that done button and then that'll move it along. All right, so you did that. Now, if you look in the chat, what happened, let's see, let me bring the chat up so that everybody at home can see that. There we go. The attackers, whoops, what did I do here? I messed that up. The attackers, GE3 against a defender, attacker rolled a 2, which resulted in 3 losses. The defender rolled a 1 on the same combat results table and lost 1 factor. So I forced you to lose 3 factors and you forced me to lose 1. So I win the combat, right? So you have
Where's
to
the combat results table?
in
I'm a
that
little confused
in
by
that
that.
chat over to the right,
Okay.
all the way over
Okay.
to the
Can you
right of
explain
screen.
how the yeah, can you explain how the roles
Yes.
influence the result?
Let's see. Let's look up on the screen and look for the combat results table. Um, Wait a minute. This is the part of well, there's a combat results table that I can't find right now. I don't know why I can't find it. Um, but what that's telling you, and so the combat results table, which would really help you answer the question, it lays out in terms of factors on the top and die rolls along the side, typical combat results table. So I had five. Um, I had 5 attacking factors. You had 3 attacking factors. So then you roll the dice, you cross reference the results, and the software calculates that my attack generated 3 French losses. And the attacks are conducted simultaneously unless it's a flank attack. So your attack generated 1 German loss. So, what it's now asking you is to click on your unit that's highlighted in green. Let me bring that up so everybody can see that. Um, can they see that? Yeah, they can see that. So, you clicked on it and it then put the stripe there, right? You can see that, um, which indicates it took 3 losses. Now, um, my screen is waiting. Oh, and then you have to hit done. You also have to hit done.
Sure.
And this is the thing that when you're actually playing this, and a lot of people play it you go, I go, back and forth. They're playing on their phone, they're playing on their iPad, or sometimes their laptop. A lot of different ways you can play it. So then it comes back to me. Now I have to take my losses in the attack on Sedan. Now, here's the rub. Because you only generated 1 loss, by flipping a unit, that would take 3 losses. So you had to click or generate a minimum of 3 losses for me to feel any effect. Now, as
My
losses are
one is
taken,
just wasted.
the 1 is wasted. Exactly. Now, if it was a smaller unit, say, look at the French unit down south in Belfort, which is the fort with a little two. Like if you just go down the stacks in
Mhm.
the southeast direction, see, that only has one. So if I was attacking with a core, that's a core, these bigger squares are called armies, then I would have been able to take a loss, but I didn't. So I still click done. Now it allows you to retreat. Now the differential there is 3 minus to compared to 1. It's a differential of 2. So you have to retreat 2 squares, but you can go in any direction. So my recommendation would be one, first you click on the unit, and then you get to choose your path. Now, where you want to end up is in Chateau Thierry, which is just to the southwest of that. So you want to click Cambrai and then Chateau Thierry. And the reason you want to do that is you don't necessarily want to leave a line in you for defensive purposes, that's what I would recommend you do. And then there you go. So now your retreat's done. So you click on done, and now it allows me the opportunity to advance. So it's kind of a dangerous spot, but I'm going to go ahead and do it because it's just a practice game. And the reason it's a dangerous spot is on your next turn, you're going to have Verdun and Chateau Thierry available to attack me, a powerful counterattack, if you will. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and advance. Oh, wait a minute. This says need more minutes. Reactivate Pro. I wonder if I got to pay for this. Let's see. Hang on a minute. I can no longer see yours. I don't know what happened here. Oh, I do not want to pay. Oh, I do not want to pay $16 a month for this. All right, we're just going to give up with the Zoom part of it. Oh, can you hear me, Joe? Uh, let's see. So, let me pause this. Got a little technical difficulty.